All right, it is Monday, August 4th. Welcome back to Damon Bruce Plus, brought to you by Ike Sandwiches. Thank you so much for being here once again. It's great to have you. I hope you had a great weekend. Man, Gillian and I were at Dead & Co., the 60th anniversary birthday party of the Grateful Dead over the weekend. We went Sunday. Day was perfect. I'll tell you a little bit about it at the end of today's show. That's not why you're here. You're here because it's a big day of 49ers football. 5 days from playing the Denver Broncos, the first preseason game, some very important joint practices coming up with the Denver Broncos. And you can see the 49ers are manipulating their roster right now, moving things around a little bit. And the big news this morning, boy, look at some of these cuts that the 49ers have made. First of all, they've signed defensive lineman Bradley Ani, defensive lineman Bruce Hector, safety Jalen Mahoney, who they worked out over the weekend, cornerback Fabian Monroe, who they worked out on Sunday. Sunday is an off day for the team on the practice field, but they're still working guys out left and right. Isaiah Prince also agrees to a one-year deal. He's a swing tackle that the 49ers, again, need more depth on that offensive line. Now, in order to make room for all of these guys, goodbye to corner Trey Avery. Goodbye to wide receiver Isaiah Nair. Again, the undrafted rookie out of Nebraska, undrafted for some reason, even though he's a physical specimen. He was part of today's cuts, as was, boy, we got to light a candle for our friend Larry Krueger here. Quarterback Tanner Mordecai got released by the 49ers today. They brought in Gus Bradley's kid to be the third quarterback after a really good workout, or maybe he's just Gus Bradley's kid. I don't know. I'm going to be going back down to training camp on Tuesday to get a better look at the way that this team is shook out after a few days of live practice here. Tight end Mason Pline also released. God, I thought he had a real opportunity to make something of his career this season. He won't even make it to week 1 against Seattle. And they also released kicker Greg Joseph, which means for the time being, Jake Moody has won the kicking competition. Now, I just say for the time being because obviously Joseph could be re-added to the mix. Maybe there's just some, as I think Dave Lombardi called it, some roster Tetris going on here so they can get a look at a guy or two in these joint practices before they maybe bring the kicker back. Or this is a real message to Jake Moody that, hey, man, even though some fans doubt you and even though some people don't think you're the right guy for the job, we really do. And we're not going to wait any longer to anoint you as the right guy for the job. We're going to get rid of your competition. We're going to stop having you look over your own shoulder so you can just look in between the uprights and make some field goals. So Jake Moody is the only kicker now on the roster. I told you that they wanted to make that happen, and it looks like that is getting closer and closer to happening. Now, if you clicked on this thumbnail, you saw Alfred Collins, who was on the thumb, and there is quite a bit of talk about how he's been something of a disappointment so far. Matt Barrows going, all the way to say, right now, Mikael Williams is ahead of him. They've got C.J. West ahead of him right now, and even Sebastian Valdez, the undrafted rookie out of Washington, is ahead of Alfred Collins right now. Now, I don't think so when it comes to that, but boy, I told you that Gutierrez was playing really, really well, right? Or excuse me, Valdez. It's Sebastian Valdez. I got to get my Valdez. I told you that Valdez was looking really good, and I guess that Matt Barrows comment confirms it. But when it comes to Alfred Collins, look, there is something that my high school football coach used to say to our defensive line, which I was a part of, and it's the one thing that Alfred Collins needs to hear. If you expose your chest, you're going to get beat. You got to come up with fighting hands, and you got to stay low. And Alfred Collins is so big. Maybe his size works against him a little bit. Now, that's technique that can be improved upon. That's what Kasarik gets paid to do. The note that I didn't like from Matt Barrows about Collins was simply this. He's behind and looks behind because he missed minicamp. I think he's got a tendency to, once he gets stymied, he just stops going or going as hard as he can. When I was down there for the first day in pads, Alfred Collins had a few frustrating moments, but there was never an issue of like effort. I didn't see any of that. But a few days in pads starts to reveal pecking orders and who's getting dominated and who feels good about where they are. And Alfred Collins is not looking as good as the 49ers need him to. He's going to have to become the big man in the middle, because I think that even though West will be significant in the middle for the 49ers this year, he's not half the size of Alfred Collins. Now, maybe that is low leverage that has got him looking so good, but man, I don't know if you saw any of the CJ West press conference comments that he had. He is just absolutely a monster prospect with physical gifts that are easy to see. Like, he does jump out when you're looking at him and watching practice quickly. He is basically physically built to be an impactful player who in the NFL isn't. How are you wired mentally? How do you prepare? Well, this guy prepares by just chicken hawking Nick Bosa every single where he goes. He is so interested in learning about as much technique he can from the guys and the veterans on this team who have done it before him, and that is the right way to do it. He is absorbing every single detail of the veterans around him. His eyes are on the established veterans when he's not actually taking a rep, and that is how you want your rookie wired to go. Look, this team has an awful lot of talent. A lot of that talent is raw. Raw talent equals growing pains. How quickly can they eliminate those growing pains early enough into this season where they can start stacking some early wins and then, walk into a schedule that will invite them into the win column more often than it prevents them from getting there. But stacking early wins is just a way to take the pressure off the way this entire year unfolds for the 49ers, and that's going to be a tough thing to do. Again, Robert Saleh's re-arrival could not be better timed for the San Francisco 49ers. Just could not be better timed. And he is going to have to play a huge role in making these rookies comfortable, whether you're a little behind the ball right now, like Alfred Collins is, or maybe even ahead of the curve, like CJ West is. There is still an awful lot of time between now and week 1 in Seattle. But we will really start learning about who's looking like they're on track to contribute based on what we see from the first preseason game against the Denver Broncos, which, by the way, is taking place on Saturday at 5:30 at Levi's Stadium. So that is going to be our first look. And obviously, you got to kind of grade that on a curve as well, because, whose starters are going to be out there. How much will 49ers either let their starters or their already designated valuable rookies to this week 1? How many Denver Broncos real players and starters are going to be out there? This is going to maybe be a preseason game that measures camp depth more than actual starting ability, as so many preseason games are, which is why the joint practices mean more to these coaches than the actual preseason game that you and I are going to watch together. And oh, by the way, we are going to watch it together. We're going to do a little viewing party. How valuable is that first preseason game viewing party? I do not know, but we're going to get everyone ready for the regular season, myself included. And so make sure you look out for that. Hit like and subscribe and notify if you will, please. And that way you won't miss a thing. Whenever we post a video or go live, you will be there. It is great. Absolutely great to see. So many regulars in here so early, getting ready and excited for Monday. Chris is saying, hey, Billy Strings on Friday night was ahead of the curve. Yeah, I heard he was fantastic. Didn't make it to see him, Billy, but I enjoyed Trey, the veteran, the established veteran out there. Again, more of that coming up a little bit later on in this show. Yes, huge prayers up for Greg Papa, who last Friday we learned is battling cancer. Red Jet wants to know, have we said what kind Greg is battling? No, I don't think it has been announced the type of cancer battle that Greg is about to take place in. But whatever type it is, God, I hope he beats it. Man, all thoughts to Greg. I reached out to Derek Papa, who obviously I used to work with back at an old radio station, and I just said, man, Gillian and I are thinking about you, your entire family right now. And he said he really appreciated that. I think that the prayers have been coming in left and right for Greg, rightfully so. And just wishing nothing but the best for him, man. No doubt about that. Want to talk a little bit about not Greg, but Jauan Jennings, because I saw what I can only describe as an ugly rumor attached to the fact that he's been missing practices, and it's even been brought up that this calf injury that he's dealing with right now is something that he's jaking while his contract is being reworked. I certainly hope not, and I don't think that that's the player that he is at all. Now, less of Jauan Jennings early in preseason, in camp, is probably the right thing to do because he's going to play. I mean, you better treat Jauan like he's a day one, snap one starter, because in the situation the 49ers receiving core is in right now, he is. So you don't want that guy hurt. But I'll say this calf injury lingered at minicamp. I mean, it was out there before. It is back now, and that is concerning. Jaking his injury, that, can I claim to know Jauan Jennings very well? Have we ever broken bread or had dinner together? The answer is no. But, man, there is nothing about that guy's personality, demeanor, work ethic, or reputation that suggests that he is going to fake an injury to take days off while this contract is being. No, Jauan Jennings is I'm going to go out there and practice if I can type of guy. I mean, I just believe that in my heart. So I don't think that there's any truth to Jennings not being out there from a drama standpoint. I think even Richard Sherman was talking about this. There's no way. It's just not who he is. He's not that established enough. I don't care what amount of money he's asking for or what he's done for this team or how the situation has changed his standing on this team. He ain't that. He ain't, I'm just going to pretend to be injured. No, it's just not who he is. I don't believe that at all. The 49ers, again, they're adding camp receivers. Again, Isaiah Nayer, who had been showing out pretty well in camp. I'm very surprised to see that he is released before he even gets to taste some preseason action, so you can see what he looks like against a team in a different uniform and players that he's unfamiliar against. But if you don't need Isaiah Nayer, and I keep on seeing these, absolute camp bodies that you continue to sign. The 49ers signed wide receiver Robbie Chosen to a 1-year deal. Well, I guess if you're going to say goodbye to a couple camp receivers, if that's all Nayer was ever going to be, you want another camp receiver, but I wouldn't be worried about camp receivers right now. I'd be worried about who's going to play week 1 in Seattle. And I'm going to tell you that a 32-year-old wide receiver with 1 catch last year isn't nearly as interesting to me as a 33-year-old Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's entire career is better than any season but one of Robbie Chosen. Again, Robbie Chosen was a non-factor last year. Keenan Allen was a factor last year on a very hard-to-figure-out Bears team. I can't believe that they're dragging their feet on what seems so obvious to me, a guy that could just be a plug-and-play player, a guy who could be there, trusted by Kyle Shanahan instantly, who I think fits the offense, the system, who I think Brock Purdy wouldn't have any trouble getting in, just sync with. Why are they just dicking around with all these nobody, once were, never gonna be wide receivers? Keenan Allen. I've been saying it for a month. Damon, why are you so married to Keenan Allen? Because I've been down there, and I'm going like, ooh, maybe Isaiah Nayer can play. If you're thinking to yourself, maybe this undrafted rookie's got a real shot of making this team and contributing, you should probably call Keenan Allen. It's not that hard to understand. Congratulations. You brought in Equanimous St. Brown. You brought in, you just brought in Chosen. You're taking stabs in the dark at wide receivers who, got incredible body types, but no ability to play in this league, apparently. Bring in a guy who's played in this league successfully for years. Or go ahead right now, package frickin', Brandon Ayuk and Jauan Jennings and send him to Washington and get Terry McLaurin's ass here really fast. I don't think they're going to do that. The investment, the money out to bring a player in, just the headaches of making that trade seem to be so much more than just sign Keenan Allen. That just sounds easier. Sign Keenan Allen for 1 year instead of bringing in Terry McLaurin and having to give him a very overpriced multi-year contract. That's the way I would do it. But what do I know? Oh, apparently I know things that coaches then talk about 3 or 4 days after I tell you about it. Again, Sebastian Valdez. I told you about how good he looked. When you think about the guys I've been talking about, Upton Stout, last week, after I went down to that first padded practice, I told you I didn't get Upton Stout before I saw him out there in pads, and he is a totally different guy in pads because he's violent. 3 days later, Robert Saleh saying, man, this rookie Upton Stout plays with violence. Again, I'm all you need in terms of covering this team. I'll tell you about it before the coaches even tell you about it. My eyes still know what an NFL player looks like when he's in pads. Fuck. Damon, how'd you get so good at this? I've just been around the game a long time. Five days, Denver Broncos. 5 days. Joint practices around the Denver Broncos, too. I plan on getting down to training camp practice again on Tuesday. We will take the phone out into the parking lot and instantly give you an instant reaction video. So, again, please hit like and subscribe, my good friends. Red Jet. The Niners Whisperer. 2 snaps for that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Red Jet. Look, I'm just telling you. My eyes still do a pretty good job at telling me football truths. As much as, hey, when a guy is 6'5", runs like the wind, but he doesn't get drafted, that means something's incredibly wrong. Isaiah Nair makes one good catch, and you're like, oh, maybe he's got great chain. Maybe, hey, he's got great hands after all. Well, they released him today. Joseph Ehrenberg says they don't want to spend money. It's been the whole off season. No, they're spending a lot of money on this team. This is not an inexpensive team. They are spending plenty of money. That's not it at all, Joseph. They're just twiddling their thumbs on what seems to be, a continued search. Here's the thing. The search party you send out now for the rare gem, it's not going to come back with much. Go get something proven. Again, the perfect ain't available anymore. Ideal is not about to walk onto your practice field, but pretty good option is what is still out there for the 49ers. And I think that Keenan Allen is a much better option than the constant reshuffling of here one day, gone the next bullshit wide receivers who don't have NFL careers, but on the edge of the NFL. And by the way, the amount of talent you need to be a camp body and edge of the NFL player is absurd. These guys are incredibly talented. And Keenan Allen is better than all of them, even at the age of 33. What are you doing? Do it now. If the problem is a lot of these guys are raw, guess who's not raw? Keenan Allen. As a matter of fact, he might even be too unraw. He's well done at this point. But I would still rather have a well-done Keenan Allen than a raw, can't trust him, Shanahan won't even put him on the fucking field wide receiver. Damn. Like and subscribe. Over 100 people in the room. Thank you very much. By the way, it now identifies who top fans are whenever you're out there. So I really appreciate to see all of you out there and in the chat. It means an awful lot. And I don't know what you got today in terms of lunch plans, but did you know that it's National Sandwich Month? I did not know that. Ike's does. Ike knows that it's National Sandwich Month, and right now he is running a promo at participating Ike's that you buy one sandwich, you get your second for half price. That is between now and Sunday. So Ike ringing in the first week of National Sandwich Month with just a great deal for you. Buy one, get a second sandwich for half price at participating Ike's. And boy, I hope you live around an Ike's location. And if you do, you sign up for that Love Rewards program. You get a free sandwich when you sign up, prizes and purchases. When you free chips, free drinks, all the good stuff that you could ever want. Get yourself to Ike's. He will have a sandwich with my name on it, just waiting for you. Try a Damon Bruce. I am absolutely delicious. And oh, by the way, once you get thirsty, head yourself over to the Dubliner and West portal. I love Kenny and John. They're ready to go. Did you go in to watch a little rain delay at the Bristol Motor Speedway? We'll get to that. Did you watch the Giants actually get a little seller's bounce in New York and take 2 or 3 off the Mets? Maybe before you went to the Grateful Dead in Golden Gate Park, you just hopped on Muni and you went to West Portal and you were hanging out at the Dubliner. Best Guinness Pull in San Francisco. Get yourself to the Dubliner. I love those guys. Thanks so much to them for being a sponsor now for nearly 2 years, and they are with us through the entirety of football season once again. I love the guys at the Dubliner. Seriously, we got to get there together and get some drinks soon. A little Plus meetup. Yeah, baby. Let's see. How about this from JP in the 510? Says, Ike's Chino catered my work meeting last week. No Dodger fans touched the Matt Cain sandwich. Fair enough. That's the way it's got to be sometimes. I get it. Sports loyalties can extend to sandwiches. Luckily, there were options. I don't have to ask. I know it. My favorite thing is when I've told the story before. After I left KNBR to go to 95.7 The Game, and KNBR would still have Ike's bring in some catering sometime, he would always send them a box of Damon Bruce's, even though KNBR would say, hey, Damon doesn't work here anymore. Please don't send the Damon Bruce's. Ike would be like, yeah, fuck you. I'm sending Damon Bruce's. That's my boy right there. That's what I knew. That's my guy. I love that story. All right. Chef A, I want to meet up. Who's with me? It'll happen soon. It will happen soon again. And by the way, we'll have a special guest joining us in just a little bit for Today in History. So stay tuned for that. If you'd like to wait right here, certainly, that would be a good thing to do. Just sit down and we'll get to you in a minute. Don't give it away. You start talking, you're going to give it away. This is a huge guest that we have booked as a special guest today. No, I can promise you that no other show in America had the cojones to contact this special guest. So that's coming up in just a little bit. But let's see. I'm waiting. Get yourself. Don't distract the host, lady. Again, you think Lonnie Anderson's dead? No, she's here. Let me just say this. I think I'm pretty excited about the Las Vegas Raiders at least turning the corner. Stop looking like a bunch of total jackasses who don't even know how to play in this league and have some competency about you. Get some real players in here, get a coach, stop being a revolving door, not just in terms of positions and players, but decisions and team direction and everything that the Raiders it's like this decision was made on Monday. This decision was made on Tuesday. None of these decisions equal it's going to work out on a Wednesday, but then they make another decision on Thursday, which gets rid of these 2 decisions. And by Saturday, it's a whole new team. And it's been like that for years now. Like no decisions make any sense. The Raiders are starting to make a little sense. Big Pete Carroll guy. He is going to give them the credibility that Mark Davis has prevented them from having for all these years, right? One of the best pieces of advice I've ever been given in my life is find your means and live one notch under them. It will help your entire life. This is not a conversation between you and I. Just be quiet. This is very important advice. This is great advice for anybody, by the way. This isn't just like professional athletes take this advice. This is advice for you. This is advice that you should give your children. Find your means. Are you $100,000 person? Live an $80,000 life. Don't live, you don't have to pretend you stay under your means. That's your anything go wrong rainy day money. That means you're not overextended. It means you're not some Marina $10,000 millionaire. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that person. What does this have to do with the Raiders? Well, it has to do with their rookie. I want to go ahead and play for you a little something that I just saw on the interwebs today. This is Raider
Chaser in Askaya, which is the same community that your boss, Mark Davis, lives in.
Just need to see it. Hold on. Let me turn his volume down. This is Ashton Gianti doing something. I don't know. Maybe he's doing a favor here for this real estate agent. Maybe he's dating this chick. I don't know. But this is a rookie. And look, Ashton Gianti has a, what is that? That is a $35.9 million contract. He's got a fully guaranteed $35.9 million 4-year rookie contract. That's big money. That's even bigger money in the state of Nevada because they don't have, state income taxes. So his near $40 million will go further than other $40 millions go. Having said that, this guy is sitting around in Las Vegas right now pricing a $12.5 million house. You can't afford a $12.5 million house when you're making $40 million. I'm sorry, you can't. Because that $40 million is after even generous tax situations that he's going to have in Nevada. That's going to be at best 30. You're spending nearly half of that, and you can say, well, wait a minute, it's an investment property. It's in the same neighborhood as Mark Davis. The neighborhoods like that never decline in value. This is a good buy. That's not. It's not. Buy your $12 million mansion when you sign your second NFL contract. Because let me tell you what's going to happen. Ashton Gianti, in year 3, blows out his knee, is a totally different guy, maybe doesn't get a second NFL contract. Now, congratulations. With an amount of money that you'll never see again, you got a $12.5 million home where you got a $25,000 a month mortgage payment, and that goes, you can go through that fast. Ashton Gianti, listen to Uncle Damon. There's a lot of great places to live in Vegas. I guarantee you, Ashton, you could find a $6 million home in Las Vegas that will still be the pussy magnet that you want it to be. I get it. Sorry about that. But this is real talk. This is real talk. If you need a $12.5 million panty dropper, you got no game, dude. You're a young, at the peak of your physical. Come on, you have no family. You got no. Does he have a family? Is he married? Has he got wife and kids? If he does, then I take all of this off. Buy the $12 million home for her. If you're a single dude, you don't need a $12.5 million 9-bedroom home with an infinity pool. Come on. I mean, I'm just giving good advice over here, and I'm doing it for free. Ashton, listen to your boy Damon. Again, he's like, I can see Mark Davis. Owners live in $12.5 million homes, not rookies. And you wonder why. How every other athlete you read about 3 years after they retire is filing for bankruptcy. It is just decisions. Make good decisions. I don't care who you are, what you think you're about to be, your career prospects. No rookie anywhere should have a $12 million. You don't have a $12.5 million starter home. Good God. This is friendly advice. Friendly and free advice from Uncle Damon. All right. Uh-oh. It's being detected. Damon, watch your mouth in front of the Duchess.
Thank you.
It could be her. We'll find out in just a minute. Mom, have you ever been in a $12.5 million home? Besides this one?
I don't think that high, no.
No.
It's not necessary. It's ego.
Okay. So, Giants and Pirates. We got they're on the East Coast still. We got a 3:40 West Coast first pitch today. So a little happy hour at the Dubliner for Giants and Pirates. If you're not doing anything today, by the way, I'm going to have to bring this pretty lady down to the Buena Vista at some point today. I got to go downtown. I got to get glazes. And then I'm going to bring my mom out for some Irish coffees. We'll talk to her about that in just a second. But look, Justin Verlander, can you win a second game this season? You've won one. Congratulations. Took you to pass the 4th of July to do it. Can he win a second game this season? The Giants actually took 2 of 3 against the Mets over the weekend. They scored a bunch of runs yesterday. Rafael Devers actually looked good. Jung-Hoo Lee might have had his best game in a Giants uniform. Oh, my God. This is called the seller's bounce. They just sold. They said, we're not going to be contending. And they go and they play really well in New York over the weekend. That's baseball, kids. That's what happens. Speaking of that's baseball, you've seen a lot of like the Field of Dreams games that they had. That was great, by the way. The Field of Dreams game, whenever they do that in the cornfield in Iowa, has been phenomenal. Like the year that they did it for the very first time and they brought out Kevin Costner and they did the whole Field of Dreams Open. Oh, it was great. Gave you the chills. It really did. It was fantastic. Now, so they're now trying to put major league situations in very unique situations. Major league game, unique situation. And they had a great idea over the weekend. And I'm no NASCAR guy. I'm not a big racing guy. But Bristol Motor Speedway is a famous stadium. It seats like more people than just about anything else. And Braves and Reds set up a baseball field in the infield. And they had a Major League Baseball game happen in the infield of one of the most famous and legendary NASCAR tracks. Very cool. They had all sorts of cool bells and whistles and race cars and player introductions and like pit stop. Like they really played up the, hey, we're in a NASCAR situation, but we're playing a baseball game angle. I saw the introductions that they did. And look, I'm one of the biggest assholes you'll ever meet in your life. When something's really corny, I'm going to be the first one to tell you, like, this ain't working, that ain't working, that's corny, that's overplanned, that's overproduced. No. They did a really nice job with it, but unfortunately, it rained. It was a terrible day, weather-wise. They tried a one-off day, and that's your first mistake. There is never one baseball game. You got to schedule a series there. So it rains. They have 2 rain delays on day 1, and then they have to finish the game the second day when nobody planned on being there. Neither team wanted to even be there anymore. You're taking away an off day now from a Major League Baseball team. Those off days are precious. You don't get many of them during a Major League season. You take away an off day. You turn it into a bullpen game because now your starters are getting scratched and you got just, you're throwing way too many arms at a problem. And instead of it being a rest day, it's an overexertion day. The Reds are pissed off with all the players that they had to burn through on a lost day. The Braves won, but they're pissed off because it took a 2 days to play a 1 game. And apparently, if you went there as a like here I am on my couch going, sure is a shame it's raining right now. This all looks pretty damn good. If you were a fan there, apparently this was like the Fire Fest where like they had hot dogs but ran out of buns by like the second inning. So you telling me I can go buy a floppy wiener? What, are you kidding me? What, I'm just going to here's my hot dog, no bun? What am I, cutting carbs? No, I'm a fat ass at a baseball game in a NASCAR track. Give me a hot dog. I mean, that just can't happen. All right, we got seats for 100,000 people, but we only got 2 dozen hot dog buns. What are you doing? Nachos with no nacho cheese. People were showing like, I just went and bought nachos. They don't have any nacho cheese. You just got a bucket of nachos, plain freaking. What are you doing? Especially when I'm sure you're selling them for like $17. You got to get that right. It's a really good idea. It was the wrong execution of a really good idea. Baseball should try that again, though. They should. They just need to do it in a place that has hot dog buns and more sunshine. LM says Damon, Alfred Collins is 100% healthy, and he looks like he told the press, which he didn't think looked comfortable in front of, it's affecting his confidence. I'm concerned. Not 100% healthy. Look, he is, every single football field that young man has ever stepped on, he's been the biggest person on it. And in a weird way, he still is. Like, Alfred Collins is bigger than every dude wearing a 49ers uniform. Seriously. But he exposes that chest of his. And being the biggest dude out here is no longer carrying the day quite like it used to. Again, the NFL will take your impressive college football career and spit on it and tell you, you ain't special at all, big fella. That's what the NFL does. Alfred Collins, in the last 10 days, has found out he might not be as special as he always thought he was. And that is something that all rookies and young athletes need to overcome. I think he's going to overcome it. I mean, the guy has an unbelievable NFL frame. But when you start, publicly questioning his motor, that's a problem. He doesn't have a really good podium game right now. Okay, that's fine. Young men are uncomfortable in front of media sometimes, but he was in a very media-friendly situation down in Texas where that's, as covered a college football team as you're going to find. It's not like he's, Trey Lance coming from North Dakota where, there's 4 dudes at every press conference. So, it is a rough start. A rough start for Alfred Collins. Not nearly time to start selling stock on Alfred Collins, though. Don't even think that. But it is a little bit of a rude awakening that he's having. And if this really is hey, he has a bad rep, and then the next rep gets worse because his mind's in the wrong place or his dauber is down, that's not good. That needs to be corrected. This is where coaching needs to happen instantly. By the way, here is Mr. Sunshine, as always, Joseph Ehrenberg, and thank you, Joseph, for putting it in the ganja jar. Mom's here this week, so we need a lot of ganja. 9-8 at best. The season already seems shit. Joseph, the season hasn't even started. The season already seems shit. The season has not started. And then when they play the Denver Broncos in that first preseason game, guess what? The season still hasn't started. You got 3 more weeks. Calm down. Again, what good is panic from someone who does not know when it's time to panic? Panic is all you do. Panic is your only mode. Look at it this way. When it's time for every single 49er fan to start shitting their pants, I'll tell you. I will give you permission. I'll let you know when, oh, by the way, not good is officially in play. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. Oh, not only are we not there yet, it's ridiculous to even begin that conversation. Alfred Collins had 3 bad practices. Ah! Calm down. Calm down. In the quest to be forever honest with you, I already made my coffee earlier this morning, was up early. This is just water right now. So that's why we haven't had any official sips of the day, but I'm officially caffeined up right now. And there will be Irish coffees later this afternoon. So enough was enough. Speaking of enough being enough, this Jonathan Kuminga situation, I'm telling you, no deal is about to happen. Is everything that you thought was going to go wrong pretty much has there. So if you'd like to get upset about something else, Joseph, get upset about Jonathan Kuminga. No trade with the Kings appeals to the Warriors anymore. Brett Siegel, and this was also confirmed, I think, by Tim Kawakami, that the Warriors have shut down trade talks with not just the Kings, but with all teams when it comes to Jonathan Kuminga. If the Kings lift their first-round protection of the draft pick that the Warriors would be getting back for him, that's not enough. This isn't about getting the Kings to blink on their negotiating point. That's not what this is about. The Warriors look like they're seriously going to gamble on getting a great year out of a reluctant player who doesn't want to be here and set him up for a big in-season trade where now the money's going to be hard to look at it this way. Good luck. Just good luck with that. Like the Warriors and Kuminga and everyone involved have so screwed up this situation that I don't know if they're going to, I don't know if there's any good coming out of this outside of, hey, like Kuminga's still here and he's at least getting you 14 a night like that. This is a really weird situation. It seems like everybody's sick and tired of everybody involved in this situation, who's involved in this situation together. There is no cooling off period, and everybody's got their backs turned, and that's super duper. By the way, basketball practice is going to be starting before you know it. October is going to be here in a blink of an eye. So have fun with that, everybody. "60 years of Grateful Dead music emanating from Golden Gate Park." You can't find a more San Francisco day than the day that basically Gillian and I and 60,000 of our close friends had yesterday at Golden Gate Park. That was special. You know, San Francisco, I've always said she's like a supermodel. God, she's expensive to keep up with. And she can be a massive pain in the ass complaining about a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't matter to anyone who checks the box of "I'm normal." It's nuts. San Francisco sometimes can be a collection of all of its worst stereotypes. There's no doubt about that. And then there are other days that your supermodel, pain in the ass, expensive to keep up with girlfriend walks out that front door and you're like, God damn, that's why I'm with her. Look at her. Look at her. Yesterday was a look at her day in San Francisco. It was gorgeous. After 2 rainy, foggy, cold, dreary days, the 2 days I didn't go to the show, the Sunday that Jillian and I went to the Dead and Co. with Trey and Tab opening up, it was gorgeous. It was glorious. Everybody had a great time. I mean, it was so much fun. It was fantastic. And let me tell you, man, they crank out some really good concerts in Golden Gate Park. That place is set up to handle a huge crowd. They needed twice the room, though, honestly. They could have put 100,000 people in there. I think they cap it off around 60. But the way that the bars are set up, the way that the food options are set up in there, it's pretty user-friendly. You can tell that after all the years of doing shows out there and all the outside lands situations that they've had over the years, they got their festival legs underneath them now, and they really know what they're doing. So great time, I think, had by all. It was really, really special. And that was an awful lot of fun. It really, really was great. Erwin wants to know, will the Duchess be making an appearance with Jack and Ozzy? No. Jack is running around McLaren Park. And we just drop off the kid at the biggest park and just say go, and we pick him up at 5:00. No, he's at this special summer camp thing where their motto is like, play hard, get dirty. So it's great. Jack comes home from this thing exhausted like a puppy every single day, and Ozzy's at daycare. But you are right. The Duchess is here. I asked her if she'd like to join us for Today in History, and she said yes, she would. And so now it is officially time, boys and girls, to bring in the Duchess herself. Oh my goodness.
So silly. I would like to thank you.
There you go. You get your own mic.
I waited endlessly in the green room.
Yeah, did you enjoy the fruit platter?
Charcuterie board, yes, that was there. It was all lovely. Hi.
We told you Lonnie Anderson didn't die yesterday. Here she is. I've always said Lonnie will play you in the movie about me, which, by the way, used to have the movie about me used to be on track for like an IMAX release. Now we're direct to video for sure. But it's good. It's good that you're still available, Lonnie. Thank you for being available.
Well, yeah, Lonnie thought she'd be here today.
She did. We're putting that up there. There you go. There you go. Good mic placement.
It's so important what I have to say.
It's very important what you have to say. There's no doubt about it. Look at SF Indigo. Duchess. See, people know.
Hi.
Joe Sullivan. Love the mom.
We
love your son. Oh, how about that?
That's terrific. I want to say some of you I've met, and I think it's that you have a nice crowd of people that enjoy. I don't think I enjoy everything you say.
Oh my God, even Lindsay's tuning in. This is my sister.
Wow. Lindsay's in Highlands. Yeah, everything's great. In fact, your wife is supposed to be here.
Well, she will be because she's part of Today in History as well. And as you know,
What are we
Mom,
talking
since
about?
you are such a frequent viewer of the show, we always start Today in History with our happy birthdays today. Happy birthday today. He turns 70 to Billy Bob Thornton. I still think Sling Blade's fantastic movie. French fried potatoes. Good, big Billy Bob Thornton guy. Sure, why not? Happy birthday to Barack Obama, 64 years old today. And happy birthday to the woman who, along with her husband, basically killed the modern British monarchy as we know it, Meghan Markle. Nobody likes her or her Netflix bullshit. Happy 44th birthday to her. No one likes her. Can you imagine that? You're a princess and no one likes you?
I haven't talked to Megan in so long.
Yeah. By the way, today would have been the birthday of two very famous Louis, Armstrong and Vuitton.
Here she is.
Here she is. Oh my God. I'm surrounded. Look at the beauty. Look at the beauty.
Hi, everybody.
There she is.
Fun.
Mrs. Plus.
It is.
Mrs. Plus.
Right.
Did you say happy birthday to Jack?
Oh, today is my son's.
Yesterday.
Well,
Yesterday was my son's 6th birthday. No, that's the thing. It's not his birthday anymore. So screw him. It was on a Sunday. He picked the wrong day to have it. We don't bend rules just for my own children around here. We're not doing that. Hold on. We're gonna have to call you back, Mo. Okay. So anyways, we have a few other things today in history, by the way, and one of the ultimate flexes of all time. We've been going over this. You know, we had the opening ceremonies for the 36 Olympics where Jesse Owens put it on all the air. Today in 1936, Jesse Owens put it on Hitler and all those goose-stepping Nazis who thought that they were better than everyone. And Jesse's like, no. White boys, we're going to show you what fast is. And Jesse got it done. One of the single greatest moments in sports history. Today, Jesse Owens embarrassed Adolf Hitler and won gold in front of all those sons of bitches. That is just awesome. It's one of the best. How about this, Mom? Did you know this? Today in 1942, the Holiday Inn hotel chain officially got named after a movie called Holiday Inn, which was a Academy Award winner. White Christmas by Irving Berlin and Bing Crosby debuted in Holiday Inn. I never knew that Holiday Inn came from the movie Holiday Inn. Hotel, motel, Holiday Inn.
Christmas, honey.
That's what I said. White Christmas. That's the song came from the movie Holiday Inn.
So this is just a little trivia.
That's original. Yeah, that's what Today in History is.
Okay.
Speaking
Yeah, I
of,
knew that.
Speaking of things that we've been telling you about and happened last week, and then today is the day that Anne Frank was pulled out of the attic and sent to the Gestapo.
Woohoo.
Whoa. Yeah. Do you remember when we were in Amsterdam?
Yep.
And we were way too high to go do anything that serious?
Yeah, it would have been a little bit of buzzkill. I'm so glad I came down for this enlightening, very wonderful segment.
Not all history is fun and happy stuff, but it's history, so we document it. Let's see. Today, in 1987, the Federal Communications Commission rescinded the Fairness Doctrine, which required radio and television to present situations fairly. Happy birthday, conservative talk radio is basically what we're trying to say. Happy birthday, because you could be on your Rush Limbaugh bullshit like never before, starting today in 1987. And if you're looking for the destruction of society as we know it, it's part of the timeline. There's no doubt about that. Let's see. The last thing that I really need to tell you about today. 10 years ago, was it about 4:30? It was 5. When do you think that went down?
It was probably about 5:15 because I went to a workout beforehand.
I did not.
Surprise.
10 years ago today, I met this one.
Wow.
10 years ago today, Gillian bought a losing lottery ticket. She was scratching it off. She was like, oh, hey, I got that number. Here comes the Powerball. Oh, it's Damon.
Stop.
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
Thank you for deciding 10 years ago that you'd be settling whatever prince you dreamed of, I'm the one who came along. But I'll tell you what,
he's our prince.
Would you have been at the Grateful Dead 60th party and appreciating Trey Anastasio playing Scarlet Begonias as much as you did without me?
I will 100% agree with that. Yes, this is true. You have exposed me to all kinds of fishness.
I'm happy to do it. I'm so honored that I was able to do it. And you're really taking to it. Great. I mean, like Jillian's sitting there. She's watching. I told her, I said, Trey's going to open with Sand. I was off by 2 songs. It was his 3rd song. In the middle of it, he goes back to the Tweezer Fest, which Fish ended its tour with its back. I do realize that I'm speaking a completely different language for most of you right here, but I'm just sorry. Follow along. She was like, is that a tweezer? Did he just put tweezer in the middle? I'm like, this is why it fucking works, honey. And I'm going to give you a kiss.
Of course.
And I'm going to let both of you know that you both have work to do.
Yeah, I'm going to leave because I actually
No.
What kind of work are you talking about?
So I don't know who picks, like today is National Doberman Pinscher Day, or today is National Wear a Scarf Day. Like, I don't know who, Big Scarf, I guess, makes that happen. And, I don't know. Today is National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day.
Is it really? See, I should be making them.
This is why it works.
Yeah, I should.
It is National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day.
Right.
Again, I know it's a very basic dessert.
My grandmother's Toll House recipe.
Call me well, it's the recipe right off the back of the bag. It's the recipe that everybody follows. But to me, there is nothing like, Bananas Foster, Baked Alaska, chocolate chip cookies.
That's what you want, huh?
Are the chocolate chip cookies warm? If the answer is yeah, they're still warm and they're a little bit medium rare, I want the chocolate chip cookie. 10 out of 10 times. Chocolate chip cookie is the zenith of all baking. It doesn't get, I understand I'm pretty basic for this.
Well, it's a family thing.
It's just
a chocolate chip cookie.
It's the best. Ooh. Will there be cookies with Irish coffee? So if you go up and you bake a batch now, we can bring them with us. No. Hey, we just want to say thank you so very much for tuning in today. Thanks to all the supers. We got, so this was Joseph, already panicking. Calm down, Joseph. This is LD Studios. I'm sorry I missed you. He said they just signed St. Brown's brother. And they already cut him and released him. What are Cowing's chances? Look, the guy had 4 catches last year. Even if he's good, he's going to have to be a lot better to matter. There's no doubt about that. And again, they don't want to spend money. No, they do. They've spent plenty of money. They just continue to spend them on wrong guys. Well, don't you think the 49ers should sign Keenan Allen?
I think so.
There you go. There it is, kids. Thank you so very much for watching today. You could have spent this time with anyone, and you spent it here with us, which is, something that you might be questioning yourself about. But I really appreciate you being here. Hit subscribe, hit like, hit notify, all of those things that I can't believe I have to ask you to do at this point in time. But here we are. We're asking these things. And we will always ask you to remember that sports don't build character.
Oh, they reveal it.
And like that, love you, Mom.
Love you too, honey. So much.
They're gone.